What is happening with Africa? What is happening in Cameroon? A continent with 600 million hectares of arable land. A continent with very good climatic conditions to grow whatever crop we want to grow. In Cameroon, we have 5 agroecological zones. We can grow pepper, we can grow tomato, cocoa, we can grow banana, we can grow avocado, we can grow strawberries. We can grow wheat. Yes, we can grow wheat in Cameroon. But the war happening thousands of kilometers away from the shores of Africa, away from Cameroon, away from our nations. What happens? It crumbles the entire system. The price of food has skyrocketed. Everything is expensive now. Everything is expensive. Fertilizer is expensive. I'm going to speak specifically for Cameroon because it's the nation I am in. Right now, the price of fertilizer in some areas is 45,000 francs. For a bag of fertilizer, 50 kilograms. 45,000 francs. How do you expect a rural farmer whose average daily feeding allowance or money for the home is $1? How do you expect them to afford 45,000 francs? That's approximately probably $70 or $80. How do you expect them to afford that to be able to farm? What is happening to Africa? It is because we have very bad policies. And in some countries, even in Cameroon, where some of the policies are good, when it comes to implementation, it is so bad. Of recent, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development gave 17 billion for development of the agricultural sector, and 13.9 billion of this amount of money has to be used to purchase fertilizers. 13.9 billion to purchase fertilizers. I'm coming to it. Now 3.3 billion is used. You have to be used to purchase seed, and all those who have to benefit are those that have applied for the 2030 National Strategic Developmental Plan or whatever. And now when I begin to ask those that are in the agricultural sector, I begin to ask the youth, those who left agriculture and are graduates, if they know about this, they don't know. 90% of them don't even know. When I begin to go to the hinterlands and ask these farmers, because I'm into the villages, talking to farmers and training them, they don't even know there's something like this that even existed. So who are the beneficiaries of this 13.9 billion? When fertilizer is expensive, we are expecting a plan that is holistic, a plan that touches the lives of every Cameroonian. Why don't you use this money to continue to subsidize, not even continue, to subsidize fertilizers? And say, okay, if we are importing fertilizers at this, farmers cannot afford this amount of money to buy it. Okay, at the level of the government, we are going to subsidize fertilizer. So everybody, no matter where you are, whether you are in the deepest area of Ikiliwindi, or whether you are in a Bolowa, the deepest villages, Bolowa, Besunkang, or Mangamba, or Soler, or Ndimbon, or all these different villages, the interior, whether you are in the far north, you can be able to buy because the government has subsidized for everyone, and not just people who have a particular plan. Are we talking about the real issues of development? Agriculture, it's about developing the entire food system. It's about developing the infrastructure, the health sector. Are we talking about that? 99.99% of farm-to-market roads are not developed. They are so bad, they are footpaths. They're basically footpaths. Vehicles cannot get to 99.99% of farms in Cameroon. You are watching me, you can bear with me. You know this. Some of you came from a home where your parents relied on farming. I'm sure most of us. We had to carry cassava on our heads. We had to carry cocoyams on our head. We had to do all of these things. It was strenuous. Some people incurred injuries till today. They can't walk because of the things they carry. And as things change, none of these roads have been done. The roads keep getting worse. If you can imagine, if our own national roads are bad, potholes everywhere, imagine what farmers go through to get food from their farms to the market. And then sometimes after going through all this excessive stress, you come back, you sell for less than nothing. It is a very sad situation, and you are listening to me. It is time we start looking at this critically. It is time we start asking the right question, because everything is now expensive. Transportation fare is expensive because the price of fuel has gone up. The stamps are now expensive. Driving licenses and permits and everything has gone up, which means the price for these services are going to go up. And normally, the price of food will continue to go up because all of these things are interconnected. It is a food system, which means it is multidisciplinary. It is sectoral. Everything has to come together. In the food system, we are looking at the elephant. We are looking at something holistic. We are looking at every sector. It has an effect. So the price of food is already expensive. A bundle of African nightshade, which we used to buy for 250, as we speak now, it is how much is it? 1,000 francs, 700 francs for a bundle. How do we feed our families? How do people survive in this 2023? And we want to sit silent? We cannot sit silent. The right policies have to set in place. We must do the hard things so that the easier things will come. But we are doing the easier things and forgetting to do the hard things. The hard things is development, real development in the agricultural sector. We have to be able to design programs to train youth properly, not just in terms of theory. We have to be able to invite experts to be able to come in and teach us how farming is also done from the experiences of other nations. We have to also use our own systems in place in terms of fertilizer application, using compost, manure, all these different things. A world thousands of miles away should not affect what is happening in Africa. We have to be able to transform the food system. We have to get real experts in place to be able to set up enterprises. The youth should be able to have access to banks. Farmers and startups should be able to have access to banks for loans. But you don't know, agriculture is one of the least funded. Go to a bank and say you have a project in agriculture. They will never fund. Sometimes I don't blame them because they know there are criteria that have to be in place for a farm to be successful, for an agribusiness to be successful. But when they look at it, they understand the market is not predictable. You go to the market today, something is sold for 100 francs. When it's at the end of it, you go, sometimes it's sold for 50. Now there is no price control in the market for agricultural produce. Everybody sells the way they want to sell, and then the prices will drop drastically. Farmers will make losses. Even at the level of cocoa, which is a product that is needed internationally everywhere. The price of cocoa sometimes drops down to almost, farmers make losses after buying chemicals and pesticides. Expensive. Cocoa farmers are frustrated. They end up owing. It is a very bad situation and we must take action now. If you are a youth, you are listening to me, this is a time for you to take action. This is time for us to take action. I will be bringing live videos where we'll be sharing ideas on all of these things. I would like you to follow me. I would like you to follow. I would like you to like and tell me where you're writing from and tell me what you think and how the government can be able to solve this issue, how we also as a citizen can solve these issues. Talking about the diaspora in every nation has the power to drive investment in that nation. Today our diasporans, they send remittances to Cameroon and 90% of those remittances is just to help family to buy food, to pay for light, to do this. Because they are basically the breadwinners of the family. Without the diaspora, Cameroonians will die. They work their ass off wherever they are, in the US, in the UK, and they send money here. If none of them, what happens to families? How do they feed? But this is not what the diaspora should be doing. The diaspora should be able to send money for real investment in Cameroon. Invest in the agricultural sector. But can it be easy? It is difficult for them because they know the sector is extremely risky. Investment in agriculture is so risky. Sometimes you come up to set up a company, an export company, you have to go through so many paperwork. You have to meet this person, that will meet this person, corruption, embezzlement, bribery, stealing. We have to bring change in this nation. This is the time. Because if a nation cannot have food, then people are forced to engage in sedition. There will be conflict, there will be violence because a hungry man is an angry man. This is not what we want for this nation. And that is why I'm standing up today and bringing this video. I'm going to bring more of these videos. We need to start talking. It's not just about the government because we also have a responsibility as youth. The aging population, the population of farmers in Africa, the average age of farmers in Africa is 50. Some news will even report 60 years, which means once this generation dies and goes away, once we lose this generation of farmers, our mothers, our uncles that are farming, what happens to farming? Very few persons will be engaged in farming because the youths are now looking for ways to travel to the US. Some of them are using perilous journeys, taking perilous journeys to go to US, to go to the UK and all of that. Some are dying on the way because they are tired of what is happening in their nation. They want to see change. So they are leaving to do all these things. They want white collar jobs. They want all these different things. Who are those that are going to farm? And we say agriculture is the backbone of the economy. It's not just the backbone. It is the heart of every economy. It is the foundation in which our lives are built on. We need food, which is the fundamental thing. You cannot do without food. We need textile. You need to clothe yourself. And we need drugs. Agriculture does not just give us food. It's also drugs. It's food. It's also drugs. It is used in the production of drugs. Food is health. It's wealth. What are we doing? We must take action now. We must take action now. Like I said, I can propose some of these things. We must carry out redevelopment. Go to communities. Find out their challenges. Today we have climate change. What can we do to be able to assist rural farmers? Those are the ones that are most affected. Small-scale farmers, those are the ones that are most affected by the effect of climate change. Which means presently what we have is a longer, drier period. The dry season is longer. The rainy season is shorter. So during the period of dry season, how do they farm? They will need irrigation. So can we provide irrigation for them? These are the real developments we need to do. Go to this farm and be able to do what? Provide real irrigation for them. Provide irrigation for them. Even if we cannot, we can subsidize irrigation materials. We'll be able to dig boreholes in some of these farms. These are real development. These are real points to be able to change the system. In terms of goods, can we go to these communities and get some tractors there at the local level, community level? We get tractors, we get people to be able to start building, developing farm-to-market roads to make it easier for farmers. Can we get some heavy trucks, in terms of some heavy trucks, to be able to also assist farmers at the subsidized rate, which means they can pay at the minimal cost, at the cost for maintenance, and be able to pay the driver, and so that we get their produce where it is much easier for them to take to the market. At the level of the market, can we start structuring the market in such a way that there are price ceilings and price floors for produce, so that farmers can be able to sell and make profit? At the level of inputs and fertilizers, can we be able to subsidize and say, okay, we are going to, as a government, we are going to subsidize the price of fertilizers as they are coming in, they are expensive, yes, but the government is going to pay part of that money so that farmers can get fertilizers and pesticides cheaper? Can we also look at local levels and say, okay, fertilizers are expensive, but can we now develop programs that we can also help farmers to do what? To be able to use compost? Can we design systems in terms of waste disposal and say, okay, we will sort out the nylons and plastics and all of these things. We're going to sort them out, and then waste like food and all of that, we start designing compost and start supporting initiatives like this in Africa. Can we do that? These are the things we can do. Can we start supporting the youth in terms of real training and empowering programs, providing them startup capital and follow up, not just providing them, but follow up till the end? Can we do this? Can we make sure that we have policies in place and government banks that youth can go there and get loans and be able to start up capital to start up, not just the youths, but those that want to engage in farming? Can we make in such a way that small-scale farmers can scale up by getting loans? Can we start bringing the diaspora engaged in the conversation? During agricultural meetings and conferences organized by the government or by different stakeholders, can we get people from the diaspora, get them engaged, and also ask their opinions, why they are not investing so much, or why their investments in agriculture are failing? Can we get them engaged in this conversation so we find the right approach to go? All the youths that are graduating from the University of Boya, can we start bringing University of Boya, Chan, Faza, all of them? Can we start creating institutions? Can we start making sure that we fund private sectors that are into agriculture so that they can be able to expand and also create more jobs for these people? Can we do that? There are so many things we can do to transform the system. It is a system. We cannot look at it from one angle. I know there are some points I've left out. If you are watching me, you can drop what you think we can do to change the sector. I cannot mention all of that here. But all of these things, we must do them. We must set up a plan of action. It could be a 5-year plan, it could be a 10-year plan, and be able to do the hard things. At the level of transformation, can we be able to set up companies to transform produce? Set up companies to transform tomato. And these companies should be in areas, in some of these communities, where farmers can easily go there directly and do what? Sell their produce. Not relying on middlemen who are going to buy, and still at the end of it, they will still be exploited. Can we be able to assist cooperatives, set cooperatives, and work with farmers, train them on how to be able to do what to improve their yield? There are thousands of things we can do. Because when it comes to food system transformation, we have to look at it at a at a bigger level. It is like bringing a puzzle together. We are bringing things at the level of the health sector. Can we also work on the health sector? If we don't have a good health sector, we can't get even some investors to come to our nation because, for instance, there are international companies and people from the US, different countries want to come to Africa to even stay, to be able to invest. But if the health sector is not good enough, you will find them not wanting to stay in Africa, in Cameroon, because they know if they get sick, where do they get healed? So we realize that it is a multidisciplinary approach, multi-sectorial. We have to look at different sectors and how it affects the food system. Because it's a food system. We are looking from production, from the producer, the aggregates, the distributors. We are looking at the final consumer. We are looking at different things. We can also talk to consumers. Can they also change their feeding habits? If at the point of time food is expensive because there is scarcity, can we also train them, design programs where we can discuss with consumers so they know the way they feed to avoid food loss, food waste. There are so many things we can do. I'll be doing more videos like this, and I will invite you to keep following me. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to follow me at G40 Prince in Ghana. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. Follow me, and let's be able to share all these ideas. I don't have the monopoly of knowledge, but what I know is that you're watching and you can be able to drop a comment and tell me what you think we can do and the actions that we need to take now to be able to solve this problem.